Now, the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
The way we're asking our guys to play is not easy. You know, it takes a lot of work and a lot of sweat. It's not always getting the best players, it's getting the right players.
The Michigan State hockey team is coming off a very impressive sweep of Notre Dame this past weekend here at Munn Ice Arena. The 2 wins over the Fighting Irish not only improved MSU's winning streak to 7 games, but helped move the program to number 2 in the latest USCHO rankings. This is an off weekend for the Spartans, so we had a chance this week to catch up with head coach Adam Nightingale to talk more about the impressive start the team has had this season. So I was sort of thinking, getting ready for this interview, it's hard to tell right now who is playing the best in the state of Michigan, the Lions or your program. Are you a big Lions fan?
I am, yeah. I grew up, obviously went through some lean years, some great memories though. I mean, it was a kind of the family tradition, right? You'd go to church on Sunday, you'd come home and my mom would be making pot roast and we'd watch the Lions, and I always tease, I was a huge Barry Sanders fan, but my older brother, if Barry didn't get a first down, which wasn't often, he would chase me and my brothers around, or my younger brother around the house, so we were pulling for Barry to get the first down.
I know their season's going on when this season's going on for you, so do you have time to watch it all?
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's Sundays, you know, is a day where it depended if we're recruiting or not, and our family stuff, we got, you know, our kids are super active, so if they have games or not, but for sure it's been fun to watch, and they are the best team in the state. I mean, look at the success they've had, and obviously Coach Campbell, and just the excitement around it. It's been a long time coming. It's been fun to watch.
For hockey now here with 7-game winning streak, and you guys just swept, you know, Ohio State and then Notre Dame back-to-back weekends. What has been working so well early into this season for you guys?
Our guys have done a good job. We got a lot of guys returning from last year. They had a great summer. You know, I think we always say to our guys, there'll come a time when winter asks what you did all summer, and you know, our guys put the work in, and I think our depth. You know, I think you can have depth, but you also got to have a group of guys that buy into that. It's not about them; it's about the team, and play team hockey. So I think that's our strength of our team, is our depth, and so far we've been able to rely on it.
Yeah, that was on full display against Notre Dame. 12 goals in that series, 11 different goal scorers. How can that be some advantage for a group when, you know, maybe some guys or some programs are leaning on 1 or 2 guys to score goals?
Yeah, I mean, I think just the way way we're asking our guys to play is not easy. You know, it takes a lot of work and a lot of sweat, and so you need depth, and it's not just scoring, right? It's the depth that can play in your own end if you have to, and be consistent with that. So yeah, that's a huge advantage for our team, and one we're thankful for. I give our assistants credit, right? They're out recruiting. It's not always getting the best players; it's getting the right players, and they did a nice job of that.
Yeah, one of the new guys who's come in and really played well, Shane Van Sage, freshman. He's had a point in all 4 Big Ten games thus far. What has allowed him to come in right away and be able to have such a big impact?
He's a super committed kid. I mean, he's in every morning. You know, I can hear him at 8 a.m. He's in there shooting pucks like he's got a routine. He knows who he is. You know, I think that's one of the hardest things for a young player. He's a power forward, and playing that way. So he plays with physicality, he protects the puck, he gets to the dirty areas, and you know, I thought early on he actually generated quite a bit, and it maybe just didn't go in for him, and he hit a few posts when we were on the road, and but yeah, he's only going to get better, right? He just turned 18 years old. There's not a ton of those guys in college hockey, but he represents everything we want our program to be about. He's low maintenance, he's humble, he's hardworking, he's about the team, and he's only going to keep getting better.
I feel like we've seen it over the last couple of years of younger guys coming in, whether they're freshmen or sophomores, and having a big impact. What is it about the system here that allows those younger guys to have an impact so early?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's the system as much as identifying the right people, right? I think that goes back to how you recruit, and then we're not about promises and guarantees. We're about coming in and earning it, and our guys understand that in the locker room. And so when you come here, if you want to play more or you want to play in a certain spot, play better. And so I think that's really helped. So, you know, if you're a young guy coming in and you know that you haven't been promised something, you got to go out and earn it. And the older guys know that. It creates a competitive environment, and the byproduct is getting pretty consistent play.
I know you don't like to pay attention to the rankings, and you're more about getting better instead of the wins and losses. Being ranked second in the country, and obviously you've shown how good this team can be, but where have you seen them just stay focused on the mission of getting better and not focused on the ranking?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that's kind of been our message since we got here, right? Is it's the rankings are nice, but those are people's opinions, and those are going to change, and it doesn't really matter. And all that matters is if we reach our potential as a team, and to do that, you got to keep getting better and focus on things that have substance. And for us, I mean, rankings are obviously fans and all that, but I don't really see substance in that. I think the substance is, are we getting better? Are we playing how we need to play? And we do have to play a certain way for us to be a good hockey team, and it takes a lot of sweat and it takes a lot of teamwork, and so far the guys have done a good job of buying into that. And I think probably where it's changed too is, our first year, we probably snuck up on some teams, right, and we didn't have a ton of respect. I thought, last year we started to earn some more of that, but now I think we see everyone's best, and it's really important for development and for our guys to make sure, like, we got to play our best hockey if we want to win hockey games.
It was also announced this week Michigan State will have the opportunity to compete against one of the top college hockey programs in the country, North Dakota, in the 2026 U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame game in Austin, Texas, as the game between Michigan State and North Dakota will be on Halloween night in 2026. So a great opportunity for the Spartans to compete on the big stage, and one of the players on the roster who knows all about thriving on that big stage, defenseman Patrick Geary. We'll chat with him right after the break.
When you're shopping, do you get cash back with cash?
Nope.
What about when you use a debit card?
Not a chance.
But when you use MSU FCU's Cashback Plus?
Heck yeah.
Get up to 20% cash back on your purchases with Cashback Plus. Dining out? Cash back. Online shopping? Cash back. Home improvement? Cash back. Discover more at msufcu.org/cashbackplus.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
By now, most Michigan State athletic fans know all about the turnaround the hockey program has seen under third-year head coach Adam Nightingale. The players have also been able to feel the turnaround, and recently our DeSherian McBroom sat down with defenseman Patrick Geary, who is one of many players hoping to leave a brand new legacy of Spartan hockey here in East Lansing.
Making it through the hockey ranks is never easy, and for Michigan State sophomore defenseman Patrick Geary, that story holds true. But Geary says he'll never forget when it became a thought as a kid that he may just have what it takes to play at the next level.
I think it was probably my 16-year year. I mean, after the OHL draft and the USHL draft, I mean, just getting drafted by both of those kind of made me realize that, kind of take it more serious, and then you can really go to the next level. So I think that was a big moment in my career, was just going from 16U all the way to juniors in the USHL, and just knowing that it's serious now, and it kind of became a job.
And in order to make it to the highest level of hockey, it's about having a system that prepares you for the challenges ahead. A big reason he chose to suit up for the Spartans.
Honestly, this was one of my top schools since I was younger. I mean, I've always wanted to go Big Ten, wherever it was. I wanted that big school, big football school, but also have with a huge hockey program. And I think it was the first year after juniors, D-Mike and Townsley came up to me and was like, we want you to come here. And Nighty as well was like, yeah, you should come. And it was a no-brainer for me, honestly. Right away, it was like, yes, let's go. Let's do it right away. Get me in. And so, yeah, it was a no-brainer to come here.
We talk about from, year one to year two, going from the hunter to the hunted, because now you guys are one of the top programs, and there's a mark on your back, like people are coming for you guys every single game.
Yeah, and we like it. We love it. That's Nighty's thing. We want to be up 1-0 after we get off the bus. I mean, we want teams to fear us, and we want to go into every place and scare them. I mean, that's our job, and I think we've done a very good part of it.
And for the Michigan State program, the standard and main goal this season is not up for discussion.
Win a national championship. I mean, that's kind of, if we don't win that, then it's a disappointment for us for sure.
Geary says he remembered how it felt to lose in the quarterfinals of the NCAA tournament last season.
I think all the returners especially, that's in the back of their head for sure. I mean, we sat in that locker room in St. Louis and we all kind of looked around. It's like, all right, this hurts. I mean, we really didn't get beaten up on too much in the regular season. We didn't really lose any big games. I mean, we won throughout all the tournaments in the Big Ten. So I think that was like a real like shell shock to us, and I think it's in our back of our heads for now. But yeah, I think it's still taking it day by day. You know, when that time comes, I think we'll be ready for sure though.
As a child, Gary walked the family line as his dad and older brother introduced him to the sport he now loves.
And luckily, my dad's retired now, and my mom can get off work pretty often, so they're here every weekend, which is great. You know, having that family here, especially last 2 years in juniors in Iowa, you didn't really get to see them, and then this past year and a half, like seeing them every weekend, it's great. You know, my brother and my sister come up here all the time, aunts and uncles.
Is that a little different pressure? You know, when the family's here, you're just like, oh man, I got to do my job today. Like, you want to do your job anytime, but you know, I feel like that's any athlete. When the family shows up, you're just like, oh, this ain't the day to play around.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit. I think it's kind of in the back of my head not to do anything stupid to get thrown out of a game or something, but I think, yeah, I mean, I always try and play my best, but especially when family's here, it's that much more special.
This summer, Gary and his family shared an emotional moment as Gary was drafted by his hometown team of the Buffalo Sabres in the 6th round.
When you were drafted, you know, what was kind of that moment like, you know, for you?
It was honestly a surreal moment, especially by the Sabres, you know, growing up, going to those games, I mean, and then to see my name next to them on the draft board, it was something crazy and something I'd never even think would happen, but very obviously thankful for that opportunity.
From his start at Michigan State, it was a process to become the player he is today, but nonetheless, a process he does not take for granted.
Just kind of the adversity I had faced kind of going throughout it. I mean, coming even here last year, I didn't play the first month. I was in the lineup in juniors too. Like, I've kind of battled my way through. I've never gotten anything handed to me, so I think just never giving up. And I know it's in the back of my head forever now to like never quit and just kind of take the opportunity when it's given.
For Gary, being part of the transformation of the Michigan State hockey program over the last 2 seasons is a memory he will always take with him.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I tell every single person, whether they play hockey or not, you got to come to Michigan State. It's the best school in the world. And I mean, I look at like the recruits that come in here, I kind of look at them like, how do you say no to this? It's like kind of crazy with the coaching staff we have here and everything we get. I mean, yeah, it's incredible. And to be a part of the turnaround feels amazing. You know, we hear the kind of horror stories of the years before of like no sold out games, losing a lot of games, and it doesn't sound like a lot of fun, and we have a lot of fun here, so we got to win hockey games to do that.
Last season, Gary scored the game-winning goal for Michigan State in its Big Ten Tournament Championship win over rival Michigan. And while Gary is hoping for another Big Ten championship, he's also focused on winning a national championship this season. Coming up after the break, we're going to head over to the Breslin Center to catch up with the women's basketball team, who is off to an undefeated start this season. We'll see you soon.
I love getting out and trying new things, but my seizures have always kept me back. Thankfully, the providers and researchers at MSU Healthcare work together to get my epilepsy under control. So now I can try anything.
At MSU Healthcare, helping you do you is what matters most to us. In fact, it's our mission. Visit healthcare.msu.edu to find a provider.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
The Michigan State women's basketball team improved to 6-0 this past Thursday with a 101-44 victory over Detroit Mercy, a game in which the Spartans forced 32 turnovers. Our Haley Schoengart recently sat down with MSU's second-year head coach Robin Freilich to find out more behind the recipe to the team's success this early in the season.
Defense continues to be a very big attribute of a Robin Freilich coach team. Almost 100 turnovers in your first 3 games this season. What allows your team to be so dominant on that side of the ball?
Well, we talk a lot about being disruptive, and I think good offense is in rhythm, and then good defense takes away rhythm. So, you know, that's always an objective and a goal for us. We do a number of different ways we pressure. I think our team does a good job of changing it up and changing the looks. And I think our buy-in as a group has been good, because it only works if you play really hard. One of my favorite sayings is, when in doubt, be aggressive, you know, because I think anytime anybody plays slow or with hesitation or with concern, you just aren't as good. And it's a game that rewards being aggressive. I mean, I think you see the best teams dominate the paint, the best teams get to the free throw line, the best teams just find ways to sort of control that part of the game. So we're still a work in progress with that, but it's definitely a mentality we talk about a lot.
You know the saying, defense wins championships. How early in your coaching career did you begin to implement this defensive-minded approach?
Well, interesting. I was a head coach at Ashland for 3 years, and our first year we went 31-2 and had a really good season. And yet I finished the season and thought, we can be better. I just felt like we didn't take control of the game, I think, the way I thought that we could. So my second year as head coach, we started doing a lot more full court pressure and sort of setting the tone for the game and setting, I think when you press the right way, you make people just play. You take a little bit out of the control out of the game. So that second season, that's when we went undefeated and won the national championship, and I just thought it just set the tone for the game for us in such a better way, and since then, in some shape or fashion, we have continued to do it.
Your team's put up almost 100 points every single game, their first 3 games. What have you seen working so well on the offensive side of the ball?
Well, when you create turnovers, you create advantage. So I think we've been able to create high percentage shots off turnovers. And then we talk a lot about shot quality. I think our team, something we harp on a lot is, like, as a team, let's make sure we get good shots. We don't want to waste possessions on average or below average shots. And so far, I really do think we've done a good job with our shot quality.
Can't talk about your team's offense without the mention of Theron Halleck stepping into that starter role this year. What have you liked about Theron's approach to these first 3 games?
Well, Theron matches our speed. We play fast, we play with pace on both sides, and she sets the tone with that. She's a jet. She has really electric speed, and when she's cranked up and tuned in, she really kind of creates the pace for our group. So that's been fun to watch. She's also fearless. I like that about her. She plays with a fearlessness.
Probably no one loves your team more than your daughter, Clara. You see her at games, we see her at practices. What presence does Clara bring when she's around the team?
I think she just reminds us all that it's just not that big of a deal. There's just a real levity with her being around. When she's around, she likes to do the victory gritty. When she comes to practice, she likes to color. I share with our team all the time. I see them through the eyes of an 8-year-old, right? And so, and I mean that in the way, the impact they have, the platform they have, and really the responsibility that they have to all these little eyes watching.
What do you hope Clara takes away from her time being able to be around your team at such a young age?
I just love she's around great people. I mean, she's really around a lot of role models, and I feel grateful that she's growing up in a gym. One of my favorite things to say is, with all the things that keep changing, with social media and distractions, the gym's never changed, and so I'm really glad she gets to grow up in a gym.
What do you hope that your team learns from Clara?
Oh, it's a kid's game, right? Just to keep that lightness, that joy, that it's a kid's game. And when she's in here shooting, I hope they see that, they were all just once a little kid too, and that's when they fell in love with the game. She
gets to come to pretty much everything. Practice, games. What's your favorite memory you've been able to experience with her being the head coach here at Michigan State?
I love that she was with us at the NCAA tournament. I think that was for our first season here, for her to be part of that and at practice and part of March Madness was pretty cool.
Does she ever speak up, say a message to the team every once in a while?
No, but she does. She's known every time we win, she has a victory gritty for the team. So she's got her victory dance down.
As the season continues for the MSU women's basketball team, we continue to learn more and more about the 8 new additions to the roster this season, one of them being Captain Nyla Hampton, who reunited with head coach Robin Freilich this season in East Lansing. We'll have her story and sit down with her right after the break.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
When Robin Freilich took the head coaching position here at Michigan State last year, Jocelyn Tate was the only player from her Bowling Green team to follow her to East Lansing. But this season, another one of Freilic's former Falcons has joined the Spartan family. Our Tyler Driesinga recently sat down with grad transfer and captain for the MSU women's basketball team, Nyla Hampton, to talk more about her relationship with Freilich and a whole lot more.
When Nyla Hampton first got to know Robin Freilich as a high school recruit, the coach's authenticity immediately stood out.
She's really personable, you know, like really wanted to get to know you, and like there was just like this genuineness that you could kind of just feel behind all her words.
Hampton committed to play for Freilich at Bowling Green in the summer before her senior year. They spent 3 seasons together with the Falcons before heading separate ways last year.
When Coach Freilich comes here, you transfer to Ball State. Take me through kind of that process. Was there any thought to coming here at that time, and why was Ball State ultimately your choice?
There was definitely a lot of thoughts coming here. You know, the coaching staff really familiar with, love, you know, everything they do. But I had to make more of an academic choice for myself. Ball State has like a really good and like really kind of like personable, smaller level photography program, but they still have like a lot of resources in that way. So it came down to more of an academic choice. I would be able to get more there in a year than I would have been able to get from the photography program here.
Hampton got her degree from Ball State this spring and entered the portal again as a graduate transfer, deciding this time to reunite with Coach Freilich.
And how would you describe the way your relationship with her has grown from when you first started to meet her when you were in high school to now following her here to East Lansing?
I think a big thing of trust has grown a lot, you know, just her trusting me on the court and off the court. With little things, bigger things, I think that we have a really good two-way relationship where like I can come to her with anything, but she can also come to me and be like, hey, like we need you to do this, or hey, can you get the team on this?
Hampton says Coach Freilich is very similar to her high school basketball coach, a man who also has some family ties to MSU. At Wayne High School in Ohio, Hampton played for Travis Trice, the father of former Spartan men's basketball star Travis Trice.
He was honestly really similar to Coach Freilich in the aspect of like one of those coaches that's gonna absolutely push you on the court, but also cares about you tremendously off the court. So that was, I think, that was another part of why I was kind of drawn to Coach Freilich, I think, because I had experienced that with Travis for so many years, and so it was like, okay, this is definitely the coaching style that I like.
And what was their reaction when you told them you were going to come here to Michigan State, given their history with this school with Travis playing here?
I mean, they were really happy, you know, really happy for me. Coach Trice, even when I was in the portal the first time, the whole time was like, hey, like if you need anything, you know, need any help with anything, just let me know. He's always been super supportive from that first day he started coaching me.
Hampton's style of play is any coach's dream. She's a force to be reckoned with on the defensive end and has the hardware to prove it. Hampton won the MAC Defensive Player of the Year award each of the last 2 seasons.
I know defense is a huge part of your game, the MAC Defensive Player of the Year the last 2 years. Why is that something that you take so much pride in?
I think I had a couple coaches growing up that just always talked about controlling what you can control in the game. And for me, I always felt like my defense, my effort on defense was something I can control, you know, whether I'm shooting it well, whether I'm shooting it awful, like I can always work as hard as I can on defense. And so, I don't know, somewhere along the road, I just started kind of taking a little more pride in that.
Her defensive prowess has translated immediately at MSU. Through the first 6 games of the season, Hampton is tied for the team lead with 17 steals. For Hampton, MSU is a new place filled with familiar faces. The Big Ten, a new conference with a chance to chase familiar hardware.
This team has a chance to do something really, really cool, really special this year, so I'm definitely looking forward and, you know, pushing and working towards that. And then, of course, I think I'd be crazy to say that I'm not going to, you know, try and chase the Defensive Player of the Year for Big Ten.
Hampton has also been a very efficient shooter for the Spartans this early in the season, as she is 3 for 6 from behind the arc and a perfect 4 for 4 from the free throw line. That is going to be it for this week's show. As always, we hope you enjoyed. And before we go, our Play of the Week goes to someone who could honestly take home our Play of the Week every week during basketball season. That would be the human highlight reel himself, Cohen Carr.
Now, the Play of the Week, sponsored by Schupan & Sons.
Coming in, so you know it felt good to see one go down. Now,
goodness. Why would you jump at this young man? Ooh, look at that extension.
10,000 children in Michigan are in foster care. Many are in need of a temporary home. Are you open?
As a foster parent, you help a child reach their goals.
You make a game-changing assist.
You give a child the home advantage.
And you do it because you know every child deserves a special team.
Ready to cheer on a child? Take the first step to become a foster parent today.
When you're shopping, do you get cash back with cash?
Nope.
What about when you use a debit card?
Not a chance.
But when you use MSU FCU's Cashback Plus?
Heck yeah.
Get up to 20% cash back on your purchases with Cashback Plus. Dining out? Cash back. Online shopping? Cash back. Home improvement? Cash back. Discover more at msufcu.org/cashbackplus.